I think Deadman Wonderland is an amazing manga series. It starts off getting you emotionally invested in the main character. You really care about Ganta and you want what's best for him. And then the story pulls Ganta through a horrible disaster. It feels uneasy and the tension just keeps on rising. What's more, there are two valuable moral lessons to learn from this story. The first one is pretty obvious, but the second is a bit more hidden, and I'll share what both of them are at the end of this video. Warning: this video contains spoilers for Deadman Wonderland. If you've not yet read the manga, then please don't watch this video until you have, because I don't want to be responsible for ruining this amazing story for you. At the start of the story, Ganta gets framed for a crime he didn't commit. We as the reader can see he's innocent, and that positions him as the typical good guy. We want him to succeed, purely because he's the protagonist. But the story goes much deeper when getting us emotionally involved in Ganta's character. You see, at the start of the story, Ganta is not courageous. He's whiny and wimpy, and he's always crying. He's actually borderline annoying. This is a total contrast to the typical shonen protagonist we're used to seeing. Usually the protagonist will have incredible, unexplainable confidence that just seems to come from nowhere. But to me, this is what makes Ganta so special. He's relatable. Because if I went through the same horrors as Ganta at the age of 14, I would have been whining and breaking down into tears too. This is what makes Ganta a character we can empathise with. We feel compassionate towards him, and want him to make it through this horrible ordeal alive. The Deadman Wonderland is evil, corrupt, wicked and violent, and it creates feelings of helplessness. It's not just a terrible place to be, but Ganta is also stuck there and there's nothing he can do to get out. This is heightened further when he's tricked by Tamaki. Tamaki, at the start of the story, pretended to be a lawyer to help save Ganta, when really he was running for Deadman Wonderland, and framed Ganta to confirm his conviction. And so, the one fleeting moment of hope Ganta did have turned out to be fake, and it was snatched away from him. For me, this is one of the elements that gave Deadman Wonderland such an unsettling atmosphere. Because while we can't relate to the specific circumstances Ganta is going through, we can probably all relate to the feelings of stuck and helplessness he's experiencing, because we've all been through uncomfortable moments at some point in our own lives. The Deadman Wonderland is full of colour. It's got bouncy castles, obstacle courses and ball pits. The types of things you're only used to seeing at your childhood birthday parties. There's even people dressed up like mascots, the type of characters you'd expect to see walking around a sports arena. When really, the obstacle courses are full of death traps, and the mascots are part of a torture program. What's more, the Deadman Wonderland is set up like a stage. The inmates have to perform in front of live audiences. It's almost like they're trapped in a never-ending Broadway musical, with a crowd laughing and jeering at them all the way through. All of this is horrifying on a subconscious level, because it takes things we associate with nostalgia, happiness and excitement, and then perverts them into a twisted world of horror. Ganta had been ripped away from his home and ripped away from his friends. He was derooted and placed into a new weird and terrifying world. This makes the story so unnerving and uneasy, because it recreates feelings of being homesick, and once again, that's a feeling we can all relate to. At first, Ganta doesn't know anyone at the Deadman Wonderland, and so he only cares about himself. He wants to prove his innocence, because that's the only way to win back his freedom, and show his friend's parents that he's not guilty. But on this journey, Ganta meets new friends, and he also discovers old friends such as Shiro. He learns more about Shiro's dark past, and his own connection to the Deadman Wonderland. And this is what raises the stakes in the entire story, and this is what forces Ganta to find his courage and develop as a character. I honestly love this manga, it's one of my favourites. But when I was writing this video, I didn't want to explain the story itself, I just wanted to talk about the unsettling atmosphere that made it such a great horror. I also found two morals from this story I wanted to share. The first moral is pretty obvious, but the second is a little more hidden. Firstly, this story shows that we develop and find our courage not before, but while doing something. Often in life we might avoid a venture because we don't believe we have the bravery or confidence for it. But we find that confidence during the venture, and sometimes going through adversity helps us develop into a stronger person. Secondly, and this is the more hidden moral, at the start of the story, Ganta tells himself that he will find a way to prove his innocence. He confirms that motive in his head, and then holds on to it as he fights his way through the entire journey. When we're going into any challenging circumstance in life, if we take the time to fix our reason clearly in our mind, we become more focused on accomplishing our goal, and it makes every action we take towards achieving that goal feel more purposeful. Thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. See you soon and bye for now.